Nicholas Van Orton is a businessman living alone in a large mansion outside San Francisco. He is highly successful, but the success has come at the cost of his family life. When the movie opens, he is lonely, divorced, and bored out of his mind. Nicholas's brother Conrad is his only living relative, but they share a strained relationship and haven't met in 2 years. One morning, Nicholas is told that Conrad has been trying to schedule a meeting with him for days. That afternoon, he shows up unannounced at a restaurant and reveals that he is there to wish Nicholas a happy birthday. Nicholas gets yet another surprise when Conrad presents him with an unusual gift, a voucher for a strange game offered by a company called CRS. Nicholas initially thinks Conrad is playing an unfunny joke on him, but the younger brother makes him promise he will visit the CRS office at least once this week. The next day, when Nicholas has almost forgotten about the voucher, he arrives at an office building for a meeting. Coincidentally, this also happens to be the place where the CRS office is located. He walks in and is greeted by an employee named Jim. He shows Conrad around the office and tells him about the pre-game protocol, but doesn't give him any insight into what the actual game is. Nicholas is annoyed that his questions aren't being answered, but the mystery of it all keeps him interested in the game. Hence, without even knowing what the game is, he agrees to play. The pre-game procedure includes engaging in a 4-hour-long personality test. Nicholas clears up his schedule to go through with it and is asked a bunch of strange questions like if he sometimes hurts small animals, and if he prefers boobs, butts, or balls. After a lengthy and tiresome test, he is told that he will get a call if he is selected for the game. He spends the next day with his buddies from the tennis club and hears them talk about CRS. It turns out that both of his friends have played the CRS game, and they wish they could experience it again. Nicholas inquires what exactly the game is, but even his friends refuse to answer the question. Later, in a meeting, he gets a call from CRS and is told his application has been rejected. By now, Nicholas is so excited to play the game that the news disappoints him. Should have said I like butts. On his drive home at night, he finds a life-sized clown doll in the turnaround and decides to bring it home. While trying to check who left it outside, he finds a key attached to the clown's tongue. Strangely enough, the key has the CRS logo on it, which means that despite the phone call he received, the game has started. As Nicholas further inspects the clown, he hears a voice asking him if he will spend the entire evening dissecting the poor doll. A surprised Nicholas looks around only to find out that the newscaster is talking to him through the television. He tells Nicholas the rules of the game, revealing that he will find other objects like the key, which he should always keep close to until the game is over. Nicholas also discovers the doll has a camera hidden in it, which the newscaster is using to look at him. He breaks the clown's neck to get rid of the camera and goes to sleep. Starting the next day, several minor inconveniences bother him. He sees clown-shaped objects everywhere, keeps encountering people who stare at him as if they know something, and his shirt is ruined because of a CRS pen in his pocket. Soon, the inconveniences start affecting him deeply when he loses a business deal because he isn't able to open his briefcase. In a desperate attempt, he tries using the CRS key, but it doesn't work either. At the end of the day, he goes to a restaurant for dinner where he encounters a waitress named Christine. She accidentally spills wine on his shirt and is fired by her boss immediately. Seconds later, Nicholas receives the bill, and on it is written, "Don't let her get away." He figures the message is about Christine and rushes outside to find her. In a dark alleyway, Nicholas stumbles upon a sick man. Christine appears out of nowhere and insists they take him to the hospital. As if on cue, a police car passes by and helps them. As the police, the ambulance, and the paramedics reach the hospital, even stranger things start happening. The lights suddenly turn off, and when they turn back on, Christine and Nicholas are the only people in the parking lot. Nicholas figures that this is also part of the game. I don't know, Nicholas. Sounds like a stretch. The duo finds a broken elevator, which starts working when Nicholas uses the CRS key to fix it. He then tells Christine about the game he signed up for, which she thinks is a sadist activity for rich people. The two somehow manage to get out of the elevator and find out they are in the CRS building. On trying to break into the offices, they trigger an alarm and have to escape before being found. Nicholas feels bad for dragging Christine into this mess and takes her to his mansion. They share a brief conversation before she takes a shower and calls herself a taxi. Right before leaving, Christine reveals that she was offered $400 to spill wine on him earlier. She should have asked for at least twice that, but she didn't see the person who asked her to do it. Nicholas thanks her for telling him and wishes her goodbye. The following morning, he is woken up by a call and finds out that he left his credit card in a hotel lobby last night. Confused because he never went to a hotel, Nicholas goes to retrieve the card. To his utter confusion, the staff recognizes him and escorts him to his room, which he allegedly used last night as well. Nicholas finds the room an absolute mess, with bottles of alcohol and illegal pills spread everywhere. An explicit video plays on TV, and there are Polaroid pictures of naked ladies lying on the table. But what surprises Nicholas the most is that his case is on the table as well, and has been opened by someone. He quickly cleans up the mess and drives back to his office, knowing that his business, reputation, finances, and safety are all at risk. Without wasting much time, he calls his attorney Sam and orders him to find out everything he can about the CRS. He also finds a glass-breaking device inside an envelope that he found in the hotel room as well. Returning home at night, Nicholas wants to go straight to bed after everything that has happened. However, he soon realizes someone has broken into his mansion. The walls are filled with graffiti, and the place doesn't even look like his house anymore. Just when Nicholas picks up the phone to call the police, the banging on the door startles him. It is none other than his brother, Conrad, who is just as frantic as he is. Conrad hadn't been answering any of Nicholas's phone calls, which the little brother explains is because he doesn't trust anyone these days. They drive away in Nicholas's car, not feeling safe in the mansion anymore. Conrad then reveals that he is tired of playing the CRS game that has taken his life by storm. He wants to get rid of them and has paid them a lot of money, but to no avail. Suddenly, the car gets a flat tire, and Conrad finds a bunch of CRS keys in the car. Assuming that his brother is also with the CRS, he runs away. Nicholas tries his best to stop him, but eventually gets in a taxi, deciding to finally go to the police. In the next scene, the taxi driver misses an exit, revealing that he is with the CRS as well. Nicholas panics as the driver jumps out of the car and lets the vehicle fall into the river. Cannonball, bitch. The car starts filling up with water when Nicholas remembers he has the glass-breaking device. Using the device, he manages to save his own life and swims to safety. With no one else to turn to, Nicholas finds Christine's address and goes to meet her. They talk for a while before he notices that a lamp's price tag is burning inside it. He finds it strange that the lamp looks old, but the price tag is still intact. Soon he starts noticing other stuff around the house that makes it seem like it is a stage rather than a home. The faucet doesn't work, and the books on the shelves are fake too. Christine's not even a real nerd. When Christine comes outside, it is clear that she is still working for the CRS. Nicholas confronts her and finds out that they are being watched. The CRS employees start firing at them through the window, but the duo manages to escape through the back door. On their way to someplace safe, Christine reveals that CRS has used Nicholas's personality tests to figure out his passcodes, and all his money has been transferred to a foreign dummy account. Nicholas checks his balance, only to find out that she is telling the truth. Although he is still adamant about getting his money back, Christine says it is impossible because she has seen this happen to many people. Next, they stop at Christine's real house, where she claims that she was threatened to take the job. However, Nicholas no longer believes her. His doubt is proven when he feels dizzy and discovers that she spiked his drink. When Nicholas wakes up a day later, he finds himself entombed, alive, in a cemetery in Mexico. He has no passport and no money to get back home. After wandering around asking for help for a day, he finally finds a truck going to San Francisco. In the next scene, he reaches his mansion, which is now for sale. Unable to trust anyone in his life, he decides to meet his ex-wife Elizabeth. They meet at a cafe, where Nicholas apologizes for how he treated her when they were together. "I'm sorry. With that out of the way, can I have some money?" Just when he thinks his life is over, Nicholas sees an advertisement on TV where the actor is Jim, the CRS employee who assisted him last week. Nicholas locates Jim with his kids in an aquarium and threatens him. The man, scared for his life, takes Nicholas to the CRS's real office. He is not shocked when he sees several familiar faces in the crowd who he has met in the past week, but his eyes stop when he locates Christine. He holds her hostage and brings her to the rooftop. In a panic, Christine finally reveals that they're still in the game, organized by CPR with his brother Conrad. His finances are intact, and his family and friends are waiting on the other side of the door to surprise him and congratulate him for completing the game. However, Nicholas no longer believes Christine. The door bursts open, and he shoots the first person he sees, who happens to be Conrad, bearing an open bottle of champagne. Conrad dies, and Nicholas leaps off the roof, devastated at what he just did. As he falls, Nicholas's life passes before his eyes. He smashes through a glass roof and lands on a giant airbag. It was set there almost as if someone was expecting him to fall. The emergency medical technicians come to his aid not even seconds later, carefully removing him. When Nicholas gains consciousness, he finds himself in a ballroom full of his friends, family, and every person involved in his game, including Conrad. Everything that has happened to him from the day he found the clown until now has really been just a game all along. Conrad explains that he initiated the game to get his brother to embrace life. It's a good thing he jumped off of that side of the building, he says. Nicholas bursts into tears, relaxes, and enjoys the party once his shock is dissipated. How did you guys get down here so fast anyway? He asks. No one knows. A while later, he sees that Christine has left the party, so he follows her outside to her taxi where she tells him her real name is Claire. He asks her to dinner, but she says no, I was paid to do this. But then, she offers to have coffee with him at the airport before her flight takes her to her next game assignment in Australia. This movie's plot is a little insane, but it's also a David Fincher must-watch. I recommend it, highly. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.